UFC 316 was last night, boys, and today we're stepping into the war room, baby, and we're playing a little bit of matchmaker. And today I'm going over the main fighters for UFC 316, couple on the prelims, couple on the main card here, and we're going to be going over, in my humble opinion, what I think should be made next from, okay? And 316, I see you, alright? It was a pretty good card from start to finish, man, so I appreciate it for what it was, man. And Merab Devalishvili, alright? Let's just cut the bullshit and get into it here. What are you doing next from Merab? We all know it's Corey Sandhagen, okay? Corey Sandhagen's a mother, Merab's mother. We all know that this is going to be made next, okay? And it's absolutely undeniable. There's no other contenders for Merab, man, okay? And after that performance last night, Jesus Christ, dude. I really don't know who the hell's gonna beat this guy, man, because his striking has been improving so much. I mean, when I saw him, he wasn't afraid to get in the pocket against Umar. When I saw that he was moving the fuck forward on the feet, when I saw that in general, his striking has just been improving. It's got a little bit more thud behind it, man. I was like, all right, let's see how that does against O'Malley. I thought O'Malley was gonna piece him up. And Merab was outstriking O'Malley. And don't get me wrong, the first couple rounds were kind of a little bit of a back and forth. But dude, Merab submitted him of all things. We got a Merab finish before GTA 6, all right? We're just counting off everything now. But seriously, for him to go out there and submit Sean, dude, now he's starting to develop a little bit of finishing ability, urgency to finish. You know what I mean? The third round until the submission was a little bit underwhelming, but actually the fight itself was pretty fun. It was a cool back and forth. And Merab, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, please, but I'm pretty sure he got a knockdown in on O'Malley in the first round. It might have just been a trip or a slip from O'Malley. So again, I might be wrong there. But Jesus Christ, man, like Merab was not fucking afraid of anything that O'Malley was going to throw at him. So this guy, we already know how he has one of the most insane gas tanks of all time. I mean, correct that, all right? Pardon me. He has literally the craziest fucking gas tank of all time. It's absolutely, his cardio is something else, dude. It's like a cross-country team. It's not even a single runner. It's like all of them combined, he has their goddamn cardio, all right? He's collecting it like infinity stones. The wrestling is so good, man, okay? Offensively, defensively, even against a guy like Umar, that was probably going to be his toughest test for the division wrestling-wise, and he went out there and shut him the fuck down. You know what I mean? Especially from that third round and onwards. And then, dude, the striking now developing. We saw it in his last couple of fights. So, man, Merab, I literally don't know who's going to beat this guy. Like, yeah, Sandhagen is clearly going to be next. I like that Sandhagen showed in his last outing a little bit more urgency, getting the fuck after it a little bit more than the past couple of fights. You know what I mean? He was going to the distance a bunch. He was getting all Nerdhagen. You know what I mean? Oh, actually, I just don't know if that's technically the right move here. Shut the fuck up, all right? Like, Sandhagen is going back to developing a bit of the finishing ability, urgency, you know what I mean? Setting a good pace. His striking was going back to normal. We all know how good of a striker Sandhagen is. And on top of that, really developing in the wrestling over the past year or two, okay? We saw it in the Robbie Font fight. We saw it against Chito Vera. We saw it defensively against Umar. And then we saw his ground and pound look fucking fantastic against Davison Figueiredo, who, yeah, had low fight IQ in that fight. All right, it is what it is, brother. But in general, Sandhagen is about as dangerous as an opponent as you can get right now from Merab. And I'm only saying that because he's already beaten everybody else. Beat O'Malley twice. Beat Umar, beat Jan, beat Cejudo, every fucking body, bro. So Corey Sandhagen, he's going to come into this one as a massive, massive underdog. Most people, including myself, are going to go with Merab. That doesn't make the fight not exciting. There's a lot of elements that Sandhagen can bring to Merab to make it competitive. But dude, with how good Merab is looking, like he's genuinely just one of these athletes, like it's kind of like a Kamaru Usman, where we're really just watching somebody just make their way and trying to just really get GOAT status. Okay, you have Islam Makhachev doing it right now as well. You know what I mean? Like shit like that for their weight classes. And just in general, Merab is shooting up the goddamn rankings of all time, whether it be the top 10, top 15, whatever, man. This guy is chasing GOAT status. He wants to fight 2 more times this year. It's absolutely insane. And I think he can do it. I really think he can do it, man. He's not 35 years old yet. The curse doesn't apply to him, so I get it. He wants to get in all the action he can, and he's trying to fucking get shit done. I just genuinely don't know who's going to be able to beat Merab. I feel like the reason I'm bringing up the Usman and the Makhachevs, like, he really is just one of those athletes where it's like, it's a rare, beautiful fucking thing we're seeing. Whether you think he's great for the sport or terrible for the sport, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Merab is truly just the bantamweight GOAT right now, man. And, like, with how good his wrestling is, with how insane the cardio is, with the developing striking, I mean, Jesus Christ. Going out there and outstriking Umar and then O'Malley. It's fucking crazy. So Sandhagen, yeah, he does have a shot, and this is clearly the next fight to make, but it's just going to be kind of a clearly big favor situation here for Merab. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fight. It's clearly next, but yeah, man, we're dealing with the bantamweight goat here. I'm very, very impressed with Merab after his past few performances. You know what I'm saying? The dude's on an absolute tear. So moving on up next now to what should you do with Kayla Harrison? I mean, we know it's going to be Amanda Nunes next, and I absolutely love this fight, dude. I was going into this one for Harrison versus Pena, and I was saying, like, this is about as good as a WMMA fight as you can get right now. Bullshit, because this right here, I'm not even kidding, chat. Like, a lot of you guys know on the channel how I feel about women's MMA. I really don't got dick to say about it. I'm not very enthusiastic about it. Only know a few of the key names, but dude, I'm genuinely excited for this one. Like, genuine excitement. In my opinion, if you're not going to make Shevchenko versus Wei Li, this is by miles and miles the best women's fight you can make right now. Like, I was literally watching them, you know, they're doing their in-cage, like, interaction and shit. The crowd goes fucking insane when Nunes says she's coming back. And then, you know, they're kind of being buddy-buddy, but when they dialed in and they're doing the face-off with each other and you see them dial the fuck in, all right, they're turning into motherfucking animals out there, bro. Like, dude, it gave me genuine chills. So this is the fight that we're going to get next. Probably, I think, like December, maybe in Vegas. I think that's a good time to do it. Gives Harrison some time to recover from the brutal fucking weight cut. She brought the Lord into this one, and I don't blame her. You know what I mean? Like, the dude or the lady used to walk around at 170. So it's absolutely insane. Nunes coming back is huge for the division. It's huge for this fight, man. So genuinely, this is about as good of a WMMA fight as you can make. I genuinely don't know who's going to win. There's a bunch of people that are going to go with either side. I feel like there's a lot of exciting elements to it, and this is just, it's a super fight, man, that I'm genuinely excited for. And again, I usually shit on WMMA, especially over the past couple of years. It seems like ever since Nunes left, it's been on a big decline, even more so than before. But dude, this might be a resurgence here, boys. This is a fantastic fight, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited for it. It's fantastic. So I'm going to be going with Harrison versus Nunes here. We all know it's coming. So moving on up next to what do I think you should do with Sean O'Malley.
Hey, Sean O'Malley, do not give up on your dreams. I go fight Corey Sandhagen. He is funny guy. You go up to featherweight or some bullshit.
I think you should give O'Malley Umar Nurmagomedov next, or if he doesn't want to stick around bantamweight, okay, I think he should move up to featherweight. Like, seriously, because Merab ain't losing the belt anytime soon. Seriously, and like, O'Malley, honestly, at this point has a better chance of fucking bulking up a bit and just moving up a weight class. Like, if he really does have those heavy championship aspirations, and he doesn't just want to wait a couple of years for Merab to just fucking lose to Father Time or shit like that, featherweight wouldn't be a bad idea for him. Like, his size, his frame, with how good his striking is, and I mean, I want to praise the guy's defensive grappling, but over the past couple fights, I got really nothing too crazy to say about it, so I can't even do that. But O'Malley's skill set, all right, he's a very good fighter regardless, so I think featherweight would be a good mold for him, especially because the division is a bit shallow right now, especially with Volkanovski about to leave. You're hearing Rodriguez might get a fucking title shot, you know what I mean? Holloway and Topuria just dipped from the division, you know what I mean? So featherweight, I could see him seriously going on a good run up there, but dude, if he wants to stick around for bantamweight, Umar Nurmagomedov wants to fight in October, okay? Would have loved to see the on fight, but they're giving him Marcus McGee for July, so it is what it is. So I think you should do O'Malley versus Umar for the Abu Dhabi card. I think that'd be a fantastic co-main event or a featured fight or some shit like that. Both of them just lost to Merab, so there's a bit of a storyline there. A lot of people like to do the McGregor versus Khabib comparison. Both of them are kind of like very different from the comparisons, you know what I'm saying? But in general, I think this is a fantastic fight. I want to see if O'Malley's wrestling can at least compete with Umar on the ground, but Umar is more so of a striker. Like, yeah, he has really good wrestling, but the dude is very dynamic with the kicks, good power behind his shots, you know what I mean, not afraid to get in the pocket. Umar is a good fucking striker, very good footwork, all that shit. So in terms of the striking battle, I think O'Malley's the best striker for the division, so it'd be really interesting to see this matchup, and I want to see, man, like, if O'Malley can fucking improve the wrestling even more, or if he can improve it at all, like, because we just saw the most dialed in Sean O'Malley you could possibly fucking get, and he got smoked even worse than he did the first time against Merab. So back to gooning and back to smoking for Sean O'Malley, man, all that bullshit, the pink Ferraris. It is what it is, man. We saw an 100% good to go Sean O'Malley, and he got fucking cooked by Merab. And Umar in the same regards. Umar, say whatever you want, he was injured for this fight, brother. So was Merab, so get the fuck over it, okay? It was close decision, brother. Umar won. No, he fucking didn't. It was 3-2, and it was close. Don't get me wrong, but come on, man. Both these guys, they lost to the champion, and we've seen kind of matchups like this before where both guys are on like losing a fight or two in a row, and it usually is to like the guy at the top at the time. So usually those matchups, it's kind of good because somebody has to win. They're both in the top 5, so somebody's going to keep remaining that top 5 level, and somebody's going to get a big step down. And don't get me wrong, like I know that the UFC might not want to do this. I could see them giving O'Malley like a big rebound here or a layup, and then somebody just like low down in the rankings, or maybe like a stylistically favorable matchup for him. I could totally see Baldy Uncle Dana fucking doing that shit for O'Malley. What? Yeah, what was the question? Yeah, we're giving this kid Rob Font, all right? We're giving him a year to prepare for it. So, I don't know, man. But also, side note as well, I can't be the only one that thought that O'Malley was going to fucking retire. When I saw him hanging over the side of the fence, just looking down, if you are what you say you are, like playing over in his head probably, I really thought the guy was going to retire. He had the gloves off and all that shit. I genuinely thought the dude was done. And it honestly did kind of make me sad. I was like, oh, dude, we're losing O'Malley just like that, man. Like, I know he's got all the money in the world. He can leave, but I don't know. O'Malley, I think, genuinely is good for the sport and the division. I know that he's not everybody's favorite. He's not my fucking favorite. I wouldn't even call myself necessarily like an O'Malley fan. But still, I think the division is better with him in it. You know what I mean? He brings eyes to the sport, and he is a really good striker. You know what I mean? He puts on fun fights. Like, and I will say, like I was saying it earlier, the main event was a really fun fight. It was a good back and forth. Third round was a bit slow before the submission, but that doesn't make the whole fight boring. You know what I'm saying? So, and even then, MMA, brother, we got to mix it up on the ground. So, overall, man, O'Malley, glad he didn't retire. And then I think that you should either give him Umar next for October as a big co-main event spot, or a main event, or sorry, a featured fight, or he just moves up to featherweight. You know what I mean? So moving on up next to what do I think you should do with Mario Bautista? Gotta drop my mic here for this, fellas. All right, here we go. I see you. I see you. All right, that's how cheap this mic is. I gotta put it down every time, but I see you, Mario bitch-ass Bautista. I forgive you, brother. I've been talking a lot of shit ever since the Jose Aldo fight. All right, I said it was one of the most frustrated performances I've ever seen, and I stand by that. But man, he did exactly what he needed to do to really kind of just get respect back from the fans, okay? And I fucking see you, all right? I'm not going to let the Aldo performance dictate his whole career. There have been entertaining fights or performances from Bautista before that, and this, he went out there and fucking showed it. So, man, I think you should give him Davis and Figueiredo next. I was going to say give him Chito Vera initially, but I'm like, you know what? After that performance last night, instead of number 7, let's give him number 6. Let's give him the former champ, all right? Let's not have him just walk through Chito Vera, which I think he would, by the way. But, yeah, I think you should do Davis and Figueiredo next, because Figueiredo, coming off of that loss, yes, but it is to Corey Sandhagen. You got to realize, and yes, to Jan as well. So he's on a bit of a skid here right now. But they're both top 5 levels. I mean, one was a former champion, and Sandhagen's up next for the title shot. He got it off of the Figueiredo win. So Figueiredo is still relatively young. He's not too old for the lighter weight classes, but he's still relatively getting up there a little bit here. And I don't know, man. I think it's a winnable fight for him. I think Figueiredo's very well rounded. He hits like a fucking truck at bantamweight, which is crazy to say, but he really does. Showed low fight IQ against Sandhagen. Very questionable decisions there, but in general, like, the guy is usually a smarter fighter than that. He knows how to crack in the feet. He has a good grappling base. So again, the dude is well rounded. He's got good cardio as well. And I think that against Mario Bautista, this would be a good matchup. Like, Bautista's kind of earned at this point, you know what I mean? Again, I don't want to just people forget, man, the Jose Aldo performance, but it's like, I don't want to be that guy that just lets the one performance dictate his whole fucking career. He went out there and did exactly what he fucking needed to do against Patchy Mix, okay? Constant pressure from the fucking second that the fight started. Like, Bautista was looking to finish him as well, especially in that third round. Like, I'll get to Mix in a second here, okay? I'm just trying to talk about Bautista here. I got a lot I want to say about Mix, but Bautista, man, I'm impressed, dude. Constant pressure from the start. He didn't shoot a fucking takedown, okay? And I get it, because you don't want to go to the ground against Patchy Mix, so I get that, but no smudge fest against the fence, any of that bullshit, okay? It was actually a pretty exciting fight. I mean, not really an exciting fight necessarily, because usually that requires a back and forth, and Mix didn't do absolutely all fuck. So Bautista, though, it was a great performance from him, though. Constant pressure was lighting him up on the feet. He was landing really clean and really powerful. To the head, to the body. Bautista went out there and lit him up, man. So he has the good striking. He's kind of solidly well-rounded as well. I wouldn't really say he's like well-rounded as a guy like Figueiredo, but that's what's kind of exciting about this matchup. Like, let's fucking see it. You know what I mean? It's winnable for both guys, and if Bautista gets past this one, he's fucking legit. He really is legit, because yes, beating Aldo, even though it's a washed Aldo, and yes, beating Mix, debut Mix, whatever. Yes, those are good wins, but if you're beating Figueiredo, even on a losing skid, I feel like that still says a lot. You know what I mean? Because Figueiredo ain't gonna want to fucking lose this one one either. You know what I mean? He's going to think about going back down to flyweight after that. So in general, I like this matchup. I feel like it'd be really fun. Good exchanges on the feet, pretty high pace. And then if the fight does go to the ground, I'm really curious what Figueiredo will actually be able to do to him, because Bautista is solidly defensive on the ground, man. So I feel like it's a good matchup. Bautista, we forgive you, brother. Well, I do at least. I feel like I saw a lot of the comments too. People were saying that shit as well. So Bautista went out there, did exactly what he needed to do, man. Okay. So moving on now to what do I think you should do with Patchy Mix? This motherfucker, bro. One of the most underwhelming big Bellator debuts we've seen, man. I think you should give him Montel Jackson next, okay? I know it's a bit of a step off here, all right? Montel Jackson is kind of hanging around like number 14 in the rankings. But what the fuck else am I supposed to do? We just saw Patricio Pitbull. He lost his big debut, and now they're giving him Dan Ige, who's ranked number 14. And I really like that matchup, not because I think it's just going to be stylistically a banger. I do, but also it's like a proper step down, or I guess just competition level in general for Pitbull. And I think the same thing applies with Mix. I mean, dude, this guy was just so fucking flat-footed in there. He was literally just taking every goddamn shot that Mario Bautista threw at him in that first round. The second round was slightly more competitive, but Bautista was still lighting him up. And then the third round, now he's shooting takedowns. Oh, so you're a wrestler now, buddy. Like, dude, Mix should have done that from round fucking 1. I don't know if it was just the nerves. I don't know if it was just like the heat of the moment. I don't know if Bautista was really just that much better on the feet. That could be it too. Like, I don't know what it was. Could be a combination of all these. But man, such an underwhelming debut. Mix was barely throwing shit in the first round. Second round, again, a little more competitive. But in general, like, he should have been mixing in the takedowns way fucking sooner. He needed more volume from the get-go, okay? Like, there was just such desperation in the third round. Then he was starting to get busted open. He, again, very flat-footed, was barely moving his head. Like, Mix, man, it was a really disappointing debut. This guy was saying, I'm going to submit Bautista and submit his jiu-jitsu coach, and then I'm going to get a title shot next. Motherfucker, now you're getting Montel Jackson, bro. You might be in the apex after that one. You know what I mean? And Mix is still a good talent to have for the division, but man, I think Montel Jackson is a proper fight for him, okay? Montel Jackson, it's a winnable fight for him. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could see Jackson just walking through Mix. Jackson is a really good striker. He's got good power behind his shots and solid defensive grappling. He's solid in the clinch. So I want to see if Mix can actually fucking try and mix it up. Is Mix gonna shoot takedowns this time? Is he just gonna not stand in front of him like the goddamn Alex Pereira statue or some shit? You know what I mean? Just take all the shots, because Mix, I don't know what it was, man. Pressure of the moment. Bautista was that good. Whatever the fuck. Montel Jackson, I feel like, is a proper fight for him. I feel like this fight would be pretty competitive on the feet. Hopefully a higher pace, at least on Mix's end, than what we just saw to the last one. And then, again, if Mix actually wants to mix it up, can Jackson's defensive grappling actually stuff a lot of the takedowns and show that the UFC really is the legit as fuck promotion? Well, it is. It absolutely is. We already fucking know this. Clearly, it's by miles and miles. But you know what I'm saying. Like, Mix's grappling is still really good, especially on fucking paper here. So, like, Jesus, man. Like, it should be a winnable fight for both guys. I want to see them go back and forth on the feet, and I want to see the grappling exchanges here. Want to see what the scrambles are going to look like, okay? How Jackson's going to hang. And if Mix really is UFC level, man. You know what I mean? So, just an underwhelming debut. I'm just going to move the fuck on here, man. Moving on to what do I think you should do with Kevin Holland here. He called out Colby Covington, says he wants the worst fighter in the division, okay? At least in the rankings. And genuinely, I think Covington is the worst fighter in the rankings right now. I like this matchup. I actually think this is a really good matchup. I like when the fighters are calling out people on the mic, and it kind of is like one of the fights that actually really makes sense. You know what I mean? I mean, we just saw Protez call out like Jeff Neal recently, and then they booked that one, and then you have Holland doing Covington. Like, shit like that makes sense. I appreciate that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So I think this fight, man, like Kevin Holland, dude, I have predicted the last like 6 or 7 Kevin Holland fights in a row correctly, man. Jesus Christ, I know everyone's going out there, whoa, you never know which version of Kevin Holland's going to show up. I'm fucking telling you, man, it's the same one every time, but he's beating and losing to the same caliber of competition. And Colby Covington is a guy who, back in the day, man, people forget, man, he was very high level, but it's been such a fall off from grace. Like, the guy is so much more of a Twitch streamer nowadays and just going around hanging out with celebrities and shit, you know what I mean? Hi, nerds and virgins. Like, shut the fuck up. Instead of actually fighting, you know what I mean? Even for the Buckley fight, it was really impressive that he took it on short-ish notice. It was like 4 weeks out, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, then all the excuses came in. He was like, yeah, I'm barely training right now, man. Like, I wasn't even training for months and months until the actual fight. Motherfucker, you're a fighter. You're a fighter above all. And if you don't want to do that, just get the fuck out of here and stop clinging on to that top 10 spot. But he still is, man. I think this is a winnable fight for Holland. I think it's a winnable fight for Colby as well, though. I'm not going to gonna lie. Like my whole point earlier that I was bringing this up, where Kevin Holland is beating and losing to, I feel like, similar competition here. Again, by the way, it was a fantastic win from him. Being the first guy to submit Luque in the UFC and going out there and was lighting him up on the feet right away and making Luque not even want to take the fight to the ground. Like, Jesus Christ. Holland is a dog out there, man. And that last performance was fantastic. So I appreciate what I saw out of him, man. And Colby Covington, though, it's a winnable fight for him, but I don't know, with the inactivity and with just like the lack of desire to be fighting and just at least like be up there, man, like I just really think that could be the shit that holds him back, because his wrestling is really good. The guy has really good cardio. He knows how to take a good shot. He's got a good chin. But Holland, man, he's got a really good jiu-jitsu base, man. Again, being the first guy to submit Luque, who's also really well-rounded and has good grappling skills. That says a lot, man. So the striking battles I feel like would be pretty fun, because Covington can take a fucking shot, you know what I mean? And Holland I feel like would be lighting him up, long and rangy, you know, pretty precise. And then for the actual exchanges on the ground, Kobe's big bad USA wrestling going against Kevin Holland's slick jiu-jitsu, like I think it'd be a really good matchup. The shit talking would be fun as fuck in the back and forth build up as well. Like these two, give them their own like face-to-face interview and shit. That's the kind of shit we need for shit like that. So that's what we want. I feel like it'd be a really good matchup, not only in terms of the build up, you know what I mean, but also just in terms of stylistically the fight. I feel like it'd be really fun. So yeah, you could put this one on a pay-per-view. Maybe it's like the main card opener, or maybe like a fight night co-main event, someone like that. I don't know, whatever the fuck they decide to do with it. I think it's a good fight regardless, though, and they're both big names, so I could see it being on a pay-per-view for sure. But moving on up next to what do I think you should do with my boy Joshua Van, man, okay? I love that everybody's becoming a fan of this dude, bro, okay? Because I absolutely love him. You probably absolutely fucking love him. And he's going out there and he showed why he was one of the biggest favorites on the goddamn card. He lit up Bruno Silva. I think you should give him Brandon Moreno next. He wants to fight in that Noche UFC card for in San Antonio, Texas. And I think that's when Moreno's going to return as well. He's probably going to be in like the co-main event or maybe even the main event, some shit like that. Give him Joshua Van, because here's the fucking thing that I love multiple things about this fight, okay? One thing that I love about this fight is that even if Van does lose, Moreno's probably going to be the favorite, and as he should be. Just because we're all riding the hype of Joshua Van, you know what I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that Moreno all of a sudden isn't great. He's absolutely fantastic, and he's basically been beating everyone else in the division besides like Pantoja and shit, you know what I mean? So Moreno's still really fucking good, but man, if Van even loses, and he'll probably be the underdog going into it, yada yada yada, I still think that's like he's still 23, or maybe like will be 24 at the time, I don't know, but that's still young as fuck. That's like a lot of the people's age of us just watching this video right now, you know what I'm saying? The dude is still so young. He has such a high ceiling, you know what I mean? I think that even if he does lose, it's not going to go ahead and like send him back spiraling. He's going to go on some losing skid or some shit like that. Like we already saw in the Charles Johnson fight, like he got knocked out in that one. And then he went and came back like a couple of months later. And now he's on the win streak he is now. So Joshua Van is active as all fuck. He's young as hell. So even if he does lose to Moreno, I do think that it's like, it's not going to be such a big fall off from grace or anything like that. I know it's kind of like a sharp step up. Van's probably going to be ranked like 11 or 12 and Moreno's already in like the top 2 or 3. So I get it's a big step up, but you got to look at a lot of these other flyweights are already booked. Manel Kape is booked, Brandon Royval, Tatsuro Taira, Amir Albazi, yada yada, Alex Perez, Steve Erceg. So a lot of these fighters in flyweight are booked. So there's really kind of got to be picky and choosy with the matchups, and I think a lot of us kind of want to see a little bit of a stand and bang war here, okay? And a big step up for Van. And again, if he loses, it is what it is, but there's a chance he genuinely can win. Another reason I love this fight, man, it's stylistically so fucking fun, okay? Maybe Moreno could mix it up on the ground, but Van is so defensively sound down there, okay? His timing with everything is so good, and again, like the dude is just so good with the takedown defense, and in general, like even if he is getting taken down, he's so efficient with getting back up to his feet. He did get taken down once or twice by Silva, and then he popped right back up. He got taken down a couple times by Ray Saruya, popped right back up. So the guy is defensively so good on the ground, you know what I mean? And Moreno, yeah, he might try and mix it up. Maybe even Van might shoot a takedown here and there, but in general, I feel like this is gonna be a stand and bang fight here. And it's going to be a very high pace. It's going to be a fucking war, a scrap. Moreno knows how to bring it in a dogfight, okay? Very entertaining for flyweight. Van is the exact same thing. And I will say this, man, a big thing that a lot of us were saying about Van, you know, I love Van, you love Van, but we couldn't deny going into the Bruno Silva fight, he was lacking power. Yes, he has 1 or 2 knockouts in the UFC, but you know, and again, he gets a knockdown here and there, but we really weren't seeing a lot of the power, you know what I mean, that I feel like was necessary to really hang with like the top 10. Holy fuck, did he show power, dog. He just set the record for the most knockdowns in any UFC flyweight fight ever, and this shit was only a 3-rounder especially, so Jesus Christ, he got 4 knockdowns in on Silva, and then ended up, I called it right by the way, I said Joshua Van round 3 TKO, so that was fucking sweet, but in general, man, he was lighting him up. The power that Van has now, okay, even in like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the fight, knocked him down. It was fucking wild. And then that second round, he was beating the hell out of him and eventually taking him out in the third. Like, Van, he has such good boxing, bro. Okay, it's goddamn blissful to watch. He has such a high output, such a good pace, such good volume, you know what I mean? And the technique, the precision, and then now the power. It's all there for Joshua Van. You know what I mean? This guy definitely has championship material written all over him, wants to be active as fuck. He's looking at that Noche UFC card. You know that Brandon Moreno is going to be on the card anyways, and I'm sure that like Brandon Moreno wouldn't mind this scrap as well, so I'd absolutely love to see it for either guy. If one of them wins or one of them loses, it doesn't, well, they're going to, you know what I'm saying, no matter which one wins and no matter which one loses, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, they're still going to be able to bounce back. Moreno is still young as well. He's still like much older than Van. He's like 31 years old, but that's still relatively young, right in your prime for flyweight, you know what I mean? So it's crazy to think Joshua Van hasn't even entered his prime yet. That's wild to say, but I absolutely love this fight. It's a striking spectacle. Would love to see it for Noche UFC. Moving on up next to what do I think you should do with no body camp Joe Pyfer, all right? He wants somebody in the rankings next. The UFC is going to give him somebody in the rankings next. And so when I was looking at it, I was like, well, who the fuck can we give him? Because literally, like, through number 7 through 14 is all booked. He's not going to get a top 5, nor should he. So the only guy left is number 15, Abu Smagomedov, okay? So that's the fight I think you should make next. Pyfer versus Magomedov. I like this fight, man. I was impressed by Pyfer. His power is fucking insane, but I was also underwhelmed at the same time. Like, the thing is, like, I appreciate that he was trying to be more patient and technical with it. Like, he really wasn't just like, I mean, he was capitalizing on the big shots he was landing, but like in the first round specifically, you know, but in that second and third round, man, like in that second and third round, it just seemed like, yeah, I did appreciate him being a little more smart with the fight IQ, and he was, you know, a bit more patient and technical. He wasn't just throwing caution at the fucking wind and gassing out or leaving himself vulnerable or whatever the fuck. But in general, like, Joe Pyfer, he really didn't make that big statement that he wanted to, man. Like, his power is fucking insane, okay? And that takedown he got on Kelvin Gastelum, Jesus Christ, I thought he was gonna pick him up and send him to the goddamn moon, all right? So Joe Pyfer is just strong as fuck in all regards, on the ground and on the feet. So the power's there, the striking's there. He's developing fight IQ and a bit of cardio here. But man, you gotta throw more volume. You gotta throw more output, man. You can't just be like completely reliant on that one fucking shot. And Dean Thomas was telling him, like, we could finish this guy, but you gotta throw volume. And Joe Pyfer's like, let me know when we're halfway through the round and then I'll really start getting going. What the fuck, dude? Like, he was barely taking any shots. And you had like, at least seemed like solid cardio, so it's like, why not just capitalize on that and get the fuck after it from the get-go? You know what I mean? I get it. You don't want to be retarded out there. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable, okay? Gastelum was kind of catching him a couple of times, so I get it. But dude, Pyfer, it just wasn't the statement that we wanted out of him, okay? And yes, he does kind of deserve somebody in the rankings next, and Magomedov is really the only guy you could give him, and he's number 15 as well, so it does kind of work out that way, but, because again, I don't think Pyfer should get a top 10 or anything like that, but we saw how that happened last time against Big Bad Hermanson. But in general, man, Pyfer versus Magomedov is the fight I think you should make next. Good first round. Great first round out of Pyfer. The power's insane on the ground as well, man. But in general, dude, it just wasn't that crazy standout performance that we wanted, and I'm sure that he didn't want either. He was saying, apologies for the boring performance. I'm inactive lately. I haven't been in here in a year. That's on the mic and shit afterwards. So do it for July. Do it for the Abu Dhabi fight night, or maybe you could even do it for fucking like the October pay-per-view for Abu Dhabi. I don't fucking know. So yeah, I think that's what you should make next, man. Pyfer versus Magomedov here, okay? It's a winnable fight for Magomedov as well. I know I was talking about Pyfer the whole time, but it's actually a pretty intriguing matchup. Magomedov's cardio has been improving a bit. He is solidly well-rounded. He's pretty dangerous on the ground and on the feet. Solid pop behind his shots. You know what I mean? Coming off of a good win relatively over Michel Pereira. So, winnable fight for Magomedov. You know what I mean? Pyfer is very beatable, and I want to see him actually throw a bit more volume, but still apply that patience and technicality. I know that's a lot easier said than done. Don't get me fucking wrong. I get that. But if he can find that way to to really mix in the same patience he had and still being technical with it, but also not being afraid to just completely rely on one big shot and is actually throwing consistent output, he'll be really dangerous, man. But he's got to get all that, you know what I mean? So potential for him to go far, but he's got to make those improvements, you know what I'm saying? He's entering his prime just now, so he's got the time to do it. It's a winnable fight for both guys. I like the matchup. Moving on to the last one we got here, man. Waldo Cortes-Acosta. I want to say this. Going into the fight, I picked Cortes-Acosta. I thought he was one of the better underdogs of the card. You know what I mean? I had him winning. He was on my parlay. All right, so now I'm putting my wallet on the line here, okay? Like, I had Cortes-Acosta on my money line, okay? And Jesus Christ, I like to not throw around the term robbery super easy. I really don't like to, because I feel like that term is so overused nowadays, okay? Every close fight all of a sudden is a robbery, but this was a robbery. I had Cortes-Acosta as one of my underdogs of the card. I had him in my parlay, okay? So even with that all put aside, he didn't win this fight. He did not beat Sergey Spivak. This is the part where if he did go out there and beat Sergey Spivak, I would have thought, oh, he really showed that he's legit enough to hang, and oh, let's give him like somebody in like maybe a Jalin Almeida or Curtis Blades next. I think you should give Martin Tybura. I gotta give him another gatekeeper here, because he just didn't deserve that right to prove that he's legit as fuck to be on that top 6 level with the rest of the actual legit really good heavyweights, because everyone else is just a fucking blob fest, you know what I'm saying? So Cortes-Acosta, I gotta give him Tybura. It's a winnable fight for Tybura, man, and I'm not even super excited or crazy about this fight, but again, I don't want to like praise Cortes-Acosta with someone in the top 5. Yes, it'd be intriguing to get a fresh matchup, and yes, he could go out there and beat Martin Tybura, but Jesus Christ, like Spivak got robbed. Spivak clearly won rounds 1 and 3. Okay, round 3 was kind of competitive, whatever. You could argue that Cortes-Acosta outstruck him. But one of the judges had it 30-27. How the fuck do you even have it 30-27? How the fuck is that even a question for Cortes-Acosta? So I don't know, man. This is the part where I wanted to come on here, and if I thought Cortes-Acosta was going to win, which I did going into it, this is the part where I thought afterwards I was going to praise him and say, wow, his boxing really is that legit. His takedown defense looked great, which it did, but man, he still lost the fight. He lost the fight. It was a fucking robbery. UFC didn't even post about it either because they knew they were going to get fucking full a bunch of shit comments, as they should have. This was some just really shit judging. Like maybe a split decision I could even see, but unanimous? And one of the judges' scorecards was a 30-27 for Cortes. Like, I don't know, dude. We got to give him Martin Tybura. We got to give him 2 gatekeepers in a row. It is what it is, man. It was a solid fight, and it was a solid scrap to watch, but it was a fucking robbery, man. It was fucking insane to watch. So, anyways, that is going to be it here, guys. Thank you so very much for making it through this video. I appreciate y'all a lot, man. Please give this video a like. Please hit subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all. All the smoke here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think of these matchups. Which matchups would you make next, okay? Please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought of 316 in general. I'd love to fucking hear it. I thought it was a pretty fun card from start to finish, you know what I mean? But let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate y'all a lot, man. Thank you so very much for giving me your time and attention. All the smoke here. Hope you guys have a good one, boys, and I will see you all next time.